speak live now to climate change expert Durwood Zelki, who's standing by for us in Paris. Durwood, can the world deal with war, with an energy crisis, and with the climate change? It feels like the last one's moving down the list a bit.
I don't think we have any choice. We're stuck in a very difficult place between a rock and a hard place. But there is so much we can still do. We know we have the ability to shift to clean energy faster and faster. 80% of the new energy production in the last couple of years has been clean energy. That pathway is clear. We need to accelerate it. But on the other side, we also need to cut the short-lived super climate pollutants, starting with methane. This is the major component of natural gas. And cutting the leakage from natural gas, cutting the methane also from landfills and from agriculture, gives us the fastest way to turn down the warming. If we do this, we can avoid about 0.3 degrees Celsius at 2040. And the Secretary General in the clip you just showed says we're cruising along towards 2.5 degrees by the end of the century. That's a catastrophic amount of warming. It will accelerate the self-reinforcing climate feedbacks. It'll push the planet past a whole series of irreversible tipping points that will be very difficult for the world to recover from. So speed matters. COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, is very important for all the countries of the world, especially the rich countries, especially the G20, the 20 major economies. They've got to step up their game, and they've got to do it fast, and they got to put money behind it.
Now, isn't it ironic then that something the world doesn't want, but a conflict, a war, actually might focus minds? Governments around the world are trying to think, how do we spend less on energy? How do we use fewer hydrocarbons? This is what we need to do, but we need to keep doing it, right?
Yes, and now the war is giving us a wake-up call. We should not be addicted to Russian gas. That's a huge mistake. Let's take that one step further. We should not be addicted to fossil fuels at all. We have cheaper and far cleaner energy sources all over the world. The sun, the wind, the tidal power, geothermal. These natural sources are all there waiting for us to develop them. And in fact, we are developing them. But we need to speed it up. And at the same time, we need to cut these short-lived super pollutants. They're the ones that allow us to turn down the temperature fast. Climate change is really a problem of time and temperature. It's too hot, and we've left ourselves too little time to do the work to turn down the warming. And so we got to step it up, and we got to start in Sharm el-Sheikh next month.
The United Nations also seems to be preparing us for if we don't, that our lives are going to have to change, that we may not be able to live, in our own little homes. We've got to have communal living, maybe in protected spaces. We might have to get used to trying to lead our lives, more underground, for instance, in some parts of the world. Is that fanciful stuff?
The future is going to be very different, and we're going to see increasing water shortages. We're going to see food shortages. Already, famine is stalking the world. The Horn of Africa is in a prolonged drought. This is the 5th year. Southwest United States, the greatest drought in 11 centuries. Agriculture is going to be more difficult. Food production will be reduced. People will fight over food. They'll fight over fresh water. This will challenge our ability to govern civilization. So it's not going to be just retreating from the coastlines as sea level rise. It's not just going to be getting away from the forest fires and the droughts, but it's going to be managing literally hundreds of millions of climate refugees who will leave the droughts, leave the floods, leave the fires to find a safe place to live and to bring their families. This is going to be hugely destabilizing for the world. The best thing we can do is to recognize we have 5 to 10 years to turn the heat down, and we can still do it, but we have to get off the dime and move with speed and much greater amounts of money behind that.
Joe Wydzelki, thank you very much indeed.